Hey guys, this is Anthony here with you today from the Xbox Boomer channel, and welcome to episode 6 of the Xbox Boomer project. This is just to get it out of the way. This is an audio only format, so think of this as a podcast or an audio show. So you're not going to get any video on this. You're not going to get your screenshots or any of that. So if you're not wanting an audio show, go ahead and just click off of this now. But yeah, if you do, welcome and throw it on in the background and just chill. But we're gonna get into it. So this episode is about the Land of the Dead video game. So for original Xbox, they did make a game based on the 2005 Land of the Dead movie, and it's called Land of the Dead: Road to Fiddler's Green. And so on the case, it does say I do have the copy in front of me, complete in box. And it says right on the case, based on the George A. Romero film. So a lot of you might know George Romero. He was even featured in one of the Call of Duty Black Ops, the zombies maps. He's pretty much, as far as I know, I'm not like a super fan, but as far as I know, George Romero is like the father of inventing, the character of a zombie. So he's the one who invented zombies, as far as I know. And do your research if you're interested. But yeah, so this game has a lot, going for it as far as like on paper. Like I said, I'm very fortunate to have the complete in box copy. Because this is as of 2024, when this video is being shot. It is an extremely expensive original Xbox game. And I originally purchased this game, I want to say about 3 years ago for the first time. And I want to say it was about $70. It was somewhere in between 70 and $75 USD, American money. And you look at the case, and if you've never seen this one before, it pretty much has a wire fence, and there's a hand sticking through the wire fence, and it's like a zombie hand. And you can see in the background that a giant horde of zombies is basically like surrounding this hand that's trying to climb the fence. Um, and it's a very creepy cover. I mean, I saw this game when, back in like 2005, 2006, towards the end of the original Xbox's life, the lifespan. And I mean, it scared the piss out of me just to look at this game case. I mean, I saw this game several times and thought about buying it as a kid when I'd, go to like GameStop or EB Games back in the day with my dad. And I remember this game back in the day, those naysayers who are gonna tell you nowadays, "Oh, video game prices aren't shooting up." Meh, meh, meh." I saw this game for like 12.99, 14.99 US money, USD. And like I said, this damn game is like it's probably getting close to $100. I mean, I haven't looked online in a while. Um, but if you want a nice copy with the manual and the game disc in good shape, you're gonna pay out the nose for it because you don't see this game around. Um, but I like I said, I always wanted to play it when I was a kid, and it was one of the few games that I wanted that I wasn't able to get a hold of and actually try out for myself. Um, but yeah, this game, I like I said, I finally did beat it. I beat it about I'd say maybe I'm spitballing here because I don't have my paper records in front of me, but I'd say probably 4 or 5 months ago. And for this audio show, I went ahead and I played about another 2 hours of it. And so, I did skim through. I got to play some of the missions and do some of the research on those other, sections of the game that it's been a little while on. And I've got a lot to tell you about this damn thing. So I did. I tried to remember. I was racking my brain trying to think like what games were also coming out when Land of the Dead was here. When it was popular, or not really popular, I guess, but when it was new and fresh. And when I started looking into it, I realized that while Land of the Dead was coming out, the video game, We had games like Resident Evil 4 that came out that year on the GameCube. And we also had, games like Conquer Live and Reloaded. I just did a Xbox Boomer project on that game, and that was a phenomenal game. And even the first God of War game and Star Wars Battlefront 2 both came out in 2005. So that's the kind of, steep competition that this game was going against. And that's why, I mean, you probably didn't even hear about this game. Um, it was not very well received back when it came out on the original Xbox. Um, and I like I said, I was way too young back in 2005, and this game I would have dropped loads in my pants if I was able to play this. Um, but yeah, I will say in that time frame, I remember I used to get on a like an office computer that I had access to, and I would hop on the site GameSpot for a lot of my reviews in 2005. And GameSpot back in '05 actually gave Land of the Dead: Road to Fiddler's Green a 1.9 rating out of 10, stars or rating systems or whatever you want to call it. And for the Xbox version. So this game was not well received. And GameSpot actually, not that I agree with everything GameSpot says or does, um, but they actually declared this game the worst game of 2005, period. And I know that sounds shitty, and I know that sounds like this game is just a pile of garbage, but I will tell you, while this game has its flaws, I played this game cover to cover, front to back, front line and center. I played the whole damn thing. I did it all. I've done it. I've seen it. I've been there. I've done it. And this game is so bad that it's good. I'm not bullshitting you on this. It is such a horrible game. I had so much fun with it. It was a blast from the past, and we'll talk about it later. But if you grew up on the original Xbox and you have memories of when games were simpler and when games were, less polished, um, this might stand out to you because I actually this game now, not only because I paid so much money for it in the modern day, but just because I had so much fun with it, it's got a little spot in my heart. So I'll tell you about it. Um, so I guess as far as the story's concerned, because with this being a movie game, you might be concerned about having to watch the movie first. Well, I've watched the movie a couple times over the years, Land of the Dead, and it's a really old movie. Like I said, 2005. Um, you don't actually have to watch the movie to play the game. It doesn't really have a whole lot of anything to do with the actual movie. I mean, maybe a little bit towards the end of the game as things start wrapping up. You'll get a little bit of the same scenery that you'll see in the movie. But I mean, when the movie came out, I actually thought the movie wasn't that good. I mean, they play it all the time. I see it like once a year as I'm flipping through channels on like the public television stations. So it's around, and I've seen it for the DVD. It has been like $1 at like all the pawn shops that I've ever been to. So it's not really, I mean, it's a run of the mill zombie movie. Um, but yeah, you don't let that discourage you from playing this game if you haven't seen the movie. Because I actually think before I watched all of the movie all the way through, I think I beat the game. I'm pretty sure. Um, but yeah, so as far as the game's concerned, the story is pretty much following a generic farmer, and I think his name is Jack, and he's very, very bland. They kind of portray him as like being the dumb farming, stereotype kind of person. Like he's got a very thick accent and talks like Goofy. He goes, "Look, it's all better get to the city." And I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. He sounds like a damn Muppet or like a, I mean, it's pretty embarrassing. some of the voice acting, but like I said, looking back, because this was made, almost 20 years ago, it does have its charm. Um, but yeah, so you're not gonna get too attached to this farmer character, but that's who you're gonna play as throughout this whole game is Farmer Jack. And the game kind of starts where Farmer Jack is hanging out on his farm, and he has the stereotypical farmhouse, a two-story white picket fence kind of farmhouse, and he gets a stranger outside, and the stranger's just kind of chilling there, hunched over. He's looking out the window at this guy like, what the hell are you doing, man? You're just kind of creeping in my farm. So you go out there and you're gonna talk to this guy and see what he wants. And it's not a man at all. When you get to him, it's actually a zombie. And so right away, the moment you start this game, there's a very short cutscene, and then immediately you're gonna get thrown into the ringer. I mean, this thing, the zombies are smacking the living piss out of you about 30 seconds into the game. You got no weapons. You got no idea how to play the game. The game can be very tough. This game, I mean, it's got several things that are going to be working against you. But thankfully, we'll get into it a little later here. But there are a couple things to your advantage as well. Um, so I will say, the graphics on this game might be a reservation for you, especially if you're used to playing, Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5 or any of that stuff. Um, I don't know as far as backwards compatibility if this thing's got any juice in it, if this thing is backwards compatible on your new systems. But the way I played it is, on an original Xbox. And the graphics they're rough. Like I beat probably I would say 90 to 95% of the game with the standard AV cable. So it was, your standard Xbox connection, your red, white, and yellow cord. And that cord, if you hook it to an HD TV, no matter what you do, it always looks like shit. I mean, that's just part of playing original Xbox, is that it doesn't look that great. Some of those early 3D games. Um, but I will say, there are things out there, like an HDMI converter box. They sell them. I got mine for about $20 online. I want to say on Amazon or eBay. And, you can plug this HDMI converter box into the wall. So you plug it into a wall outlet, and then you plug that, it has a USB, that, yeah, connects to, like just a regular plug for the wall outlet. And then one end goes an HDMI goes into the box to your TV, and you can play these original Xbox games in a lot sharper and nicer quality. And I played the last probably 10% of this game in HD with using that converter box. And I also, when I replayed it for 2 hours or so today, yeah, I use that HD converter box, and I don't always hook it up because I'm kind of lazy. Um, but it does make a substantial difference on this game because the graphics are extremely rough on this game. They're very simple. They look like like a 1990s 3D computer game. Um, and they did have a PC version of this game as well, but I've only played the original Xbox. Um, so that is one trick you can use if you find yourself playing a lot of original Xbox and you want to try this game. Throw that damn converter box on there, that HDMI converter, and it'll tighten it up a little bit. I mean, it still looks very rudimentary, but like I said, you're gonna get a lot of your gray backgrounds. You're gonna get a lot of the same items floating around the world, so there's not a lot of variety. Um, I've noticed like a lot of the zombies will have the same face pattern or the same clothing on. So, you'll kill like a nun-looking zombie, and then there'll be another one that comes through the door right behind her. So you kill that zombie who's dressed like a nun, and then there's another nun zombie that'll come in, three in a row. and you're like, damn, like where are all these nuns coming from, you know? Um, and so that's just some mentions on the graphics. I mean, it absolutely is not going to hold up to it's not even going to hold a candle to your 360 games, even the early 360 games. It's it's just old, man. I mean, you should know that going in. Like people act so surprised on these, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Xbox games, but that they're old. They're old. That's why I'm called the Xbox boomer cuz this shit's old, you know? But anyways, yeah, so graphics, you're going to have to look past them a little bit. Cuz it's not great. Um, there are also, I wanted to let you know, a substantial amount of glitches in this game. So, it is a first person shooter, if I haven't made that clear. So you are getting back into kind of the story element, and then we'll go to the glitches. Um, there's a lot of going from level to level in first person, and you're going to have a very generic objective. So it's not in depth. There's very little story. This game is more about the gameplay, I would say for sure, because you're not going to get anything. Even if you're a movie fan, if you were like the world's biggest fan of Land of the Dead, you're not going to it's not enough juice to be worth the squeeze. It's just not it's not going to give you that satisfaction of like, "Oh, I played my favorite series." Um but yeah, you're gonna be going from I mean, there are quite a bit of variety as far as like the areas you're going to, but a lot of them are stereotypical like zombie movie settings. So you're gonna be running around in first person using melee weapons and guns, and you're gonna be going to different places. You're gonna go to like your farms, your city, your downtown city area, your sewers. You're gonna be running through the sewers for a little bit, a hospital. You're gonna go to a theater at one point, a police station, and even like docks with a lot of boats in it, like boat docks. And as you're traversing this world, because there's a lot of missions, right? And every mission typically has a theme to it, but the missions are not very long. I would say most missions are, even though there's quite a few of them, they're between 5 and 10 minutes apiece. So they're not long at all. Excuse me. Oh, I'm not a talker. My throat gets dry every time I frickin' do these. Um, but yeah. So you're gonna be running around, and you're gonna encounter quite a bit of these zombies, and sometimes they come in onesies and twosies, and sometimes you're gonna be facing a whole horde, depending on the segment of the game you're in. Where there could be like 20 zombies running around at the same time. And the actual AI, as far as the zombies go, um, they're either, really good, like they are heat-seeking missile coming for your ass, or they are horrible. I mean, there's no in between. The zombies either do a very slow hobble towards you, and sometimes, and I'm even gonna post a video clip of this, probably when I'm done with the podcast here. Sometimes the zombies will stop in the middle of chasing you, and they'll just start, like, vibrating on the ground, and you'll look at them. 'Em, you'll walk up to them and be like, "What the hell are you doing?" And, I mean, you can get within a foot of these damn zombies, and they won't even look at you. So, like I said, it's a very rudimentary game. But sometimes, because this game does have severe difficulty spikes and severe consequences when you make mistakes, sometimes those glitches, funny enough, will help balance out the game. So you'll be getting your ass handed to you in a box, and just getting beat down into a freaking, pummeled grapefruit by 20 zombies, and then half of them will glitch into a car, or half of them will just stand there and look at you from 20 feet away. And that really, I know it sounds funny, but this game, like I said, is hard as hell in certain sections, and it really helps even out the gameplay. Because sometimes you won't be able to find ammo. or there'll be too many enemies, or you're just in such a tight room, such a small corridor with so many enemies, you're not going to be able to get away. So even though there are glitches, a lot of them are funny. With when you hit a zombie with a shovel, they'll fall through the floor and disappear. Um, sometimes you'll shoot a zombie in the head with an M16 and he just stands there and looks at you. Um, there's a lot of that stuff in this game. So if you want to see some glitches, you want to see some cool stuff, this might be a game for you. Because I've thought about making a more in-depth video of this game just because it's pretty funny. But I don't have the time. I don't have the time. I have to be very selective of the projects that I start. Um, so I mentioned there's plenty of weapons in this game. So like, when that game starts and you confront the stranger that's on your property that turns out to be a zombie, the game's gonna prompt you, the first 2 minutes of the game, you're gonna have to look for a rifle in the attic. And finding this rifle is kind of a pain, especially your first time playing if you're playing it blind, because the game doesn't really explain to you the dynamics of like opening drawers or searching for ammo or using weapons. It doesn't explain anything, like how much stuff you can hold. I mean, you're really thrown to the wolves in this game. I mean, there's no tutorial or no nothing. I mean, it's just like boom, damn, there you are, start playing. And which is, it can be fun sometimes too, because a lot of these modern games, they hold your hand so much, you're just like, let me play the game. All these Xbox One games and stuff, you're just like, let me play the damn game. Like I want to figure it out, you know? So Land of the Dead is good for that. I mean, it's gonna provide you a challenge, even if you're the dude who's been playing Halo 2 since 2004, on the original Xbox. Land of the Dead's gonna give you a run for your money. Um, but so when you find this rifle in the attic, and this is going to be a relatively, I mean, I'm going to be pretty conscious about telling spoilers in this game because like I said, I hate people who spoil video games for people who have never played them. So I'm not gonna rest assured, I'm not gonna spoil anything major for you guys. If you want to buy this and play it, so you can rest easy. But yeah, you find this rifle, and the first weapon you're going to get in this game is a 22 long rifle, lever action rifle. So it's a very small caliber gun, and he has to cycle the action every time you shoot. And the 22 rifle, you're going to find a ton of ammo in this game for the 22 rifle. And unfortunately, it holds 4 rounds in the as far as the capacity before Jack has to reload the gun, and it sucks because it pretty much for the most part of the game is going to take 4 headshots with the 22 rifle to kill a single zombie. So it is extremely, I mean, when you have 20 zombies running at you or you're in a heated battle, you don't have time to sit there and line up these sloppy headshots with this gun on 20 different zombies. So the 22 rifle, even though you find ammo for it, you're going to have to use it because this game, there's a significant amount of ammo management in this game. And so you're going to use every little bit of everything that you find within the levels to your advantage. But that 22 rifle really sucks, and you're going to have to get good with it with getting those headshots. Um, Now I should mention this game does not have any aim down sight mechanic. So you're not going to be staring down your sights, lining up the headshots with the zombies. You get a small circular crosshair that kind of adjusts itself if you move. So you're gonna want to be still when you're making those precision shots, and that's it. It's pretty much a circle in the center of the screen, and good luck to you, buddy. That's it. Um, Now with all of the guns, any of them you get, you're gonna have to go for headshots. This game You can kill zombies by shooting them in the body, but it takes so much time and so much ammunition, you're gonna get freaking clobbered if you're sitting there doing body shots. It's seriously, it sounds like it's kind of funny because it's the old like adage about zombies, but you gotta shoot them in the head. You have to. Um, so yeah, that's the 2022 lever action rifle. Um, you're gonna find in the very beginning of the game a single action revolver. So it's a revolver that's a larger caliber, and he has to cock back the hammer of the revolver every time he shoots. So you shoot one round, bang, and then you have to wait like a couple seconds for Jack the farmer to cock back the hammer of the gun before you can fire again. So you can't just keep shooting when you get the revolver. You can't go like bang, 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 bang. You have to wait. You have to do one shot, wait a few seconds, shoot again. Oh, buddy. Sorry, guys. I'm not like I said, my throat gets dry. Um. So, anyways, the single action revolver is actually one of the best weapons in the game, in my opinion. Until you get some of those final weapon choices, um, you're gonna get really good with that because if you can manage to use the revolver correctly, if you line up those headshots perfectly with your crosshair like perfectly at the center or top of a zombie's head, you can blow their head off completely with one round of the revolver. But it's very, very finicky because, like I said, the game's already a little glitchy. The game engine is old. This game actually runs on the Unreal 2 engine, so it's a very dated, very old game engine. And yeah, you can get good with it, but at first, like I said, if you're taking those body shots, you're gonna die because you're gonna waste all your ammo. Um, Later on in the game, you will have access to some kind of Glock handgun, or at least it's a modern, semi-automatic pistol that looks very, very similar to a Glock. And that gun, when you get it, it doesn't do as much damage as the single action revolver. Um, but it does shoot way faster. So if you're in a panic mode where, there's zombies breaking down the door, there's zombies, running down the hallways, they're everywhere. There's this it's a mess. You can pull out that Glock pistol and you can dump rounds. As quick as you can pull that right trigger on your Xbox remote, your Xbox controller, you can just mag dump, and it's really helpful for the crowds of zombies that you're gonna encounter. Um, at another point, you're gonna find a pump action shotgun. Um, that gun it's tricky to use because when you think of shotguns in video games and movies, you think about that spread. You think about that. You can hit multiple enemies with one shot of a shotgun, and you'd think in a zombie game that would be really good. But sometimes, just because the game is so finicky and glitchy, I found it happening really often with the shotgun. I would shoot these zombies at close range, and my shots wouldn't register. So even though I had the zombie in my crosshairs, I was right next to him. I was squeezed his butt cheeks. I'd shoot that shotgun, and nothing happens. And then the zombies, they do like a smacking you with their arms kind of attack, and sometimes you'll fall to the ground. And they just like I said, they start clobbering the piss out of you, and it's just not fun. So that's I would say one of the trickiest weapons in the game to use is the shotgun. Um, Now there is I'm gonna tell you about the segment of the game in a little bit, but there is a scoped rifle, and it's a bolt action rifle. So that's the only, as far as I remember, that's the only uh firearm in the game that you can actually like aim down the sights or like zoom in with because it has a scope. And so Pretty much, if you can hit a zombie in the head with the scoped rifle, the bolt action rifle, it'll blow his head off and it'll give you a free kill. So that was not a bad option. I mean, you can shoot it from the hip with just your little crosshair. So that was a good option in a lot of parts of the game. There's also an M16, which is it's pretty much like a rifle, but this one is fully automatic. So you can hold down the trigger and you can mow down zombies. But you're not going to get the M16 until much later in the game. But you can look forward to that. Now there are also several different grenades and throwable items. So there's Molotovs, like a Molotov cocktail, and those are basically like an alcoholic, like a glass of alcohol, or not a glass, a bottle. There we go. And he sticks a rag in there and lights it on fire. If you played like Call of Duty World at War or something like that, you probably know what a Molotov is. And it's like a firebomb. So you can use that as like an area effect to damage zombies if there's a large group of them. And there's also hand grenades. So those you only find grenades sparingly. And I tried not to use them a lot when I was going through the first half of the game. But as you get those giant groups of zombies that are, chasing you in the sewers, like the sewers especially that's a area of the game that was like really tight and there were a lot of zombies in some really small areas. I used a lot of grenades because I was just smoking them. I was blowing them out of existence. So those are really handy. And then the last thing I should mention is that there's plenty of melee weapons. And it breaks my heart to tell you, but a lot of the melee weapons suck. Like I can think of one melee weapon was a hammer, like a regular, hammer to drive nails on the wall with. And you had to hit them damn zombies several times. And one thing about the doing the body shots and the melee weapons is when you hit a zombie, you go up and run and hit them with the hammer. There really isn't like a staggering effect or anything like that. So, when you're sitting there whacking him, trying to, beat his head in with the hammer, um, it's not doing anything. I mean, them zombies can stay there smacking you in the head the whole time, and you can't even do anything about it. You know, so it becomes a problem. So I would definitely recommend staying away from a lot of the melee weapons in this game. But one thing I do have to share with you is that there is a shovel that you're going to find in several parts of this game. And as soon as I found out that the melee weapons have an alternate attack, I used the shovel all the time. I mean, like all the time. Because you hit, I believe it's the up arrow on your D-pad, and you'll pull out your melee weapon, whatever one that you have. And one of these shovels, if you use the right trigger attack, you're gonna hit the zombie with the shovel, which in real life it would knock him over, make him go flying. Um, but it doesn't do anything. But if you on any of the melee weapons, if you hit the B button, you will perform an alternative attack. And with that shovel in your hands, if you hit that B button, you poke them. You basically lunge at them like it's a spear. You jab them with this shovel in the chest, and those zombies, they go flying. I mean, they fall right over and they'll lay on the ground for a good few seconds, and it'll give you a second to shoot them in the head or run away or change your gun, whatever the hell you need to do. Um, that shovel's great for that. So that was one thing. I'm pretty sure it's a mechanic that they weren't 100% sure they put in the game because it's broken. I mean, absolutely, it is a broken mechanic. It's kind of unfair. Yeah, it's a little bit cheap and cheating, but this game is unfair. So, if you use that shovel attack when you're in a rut and there's plenty of zombies and whatever, and you're getting screwed, you can actually get through some pretty tricky parts with that because it can buy you some time at minimum. So, so yeah, that's a little shovel attack that I found. Um, Now there is a mechanic in this game as you're going from, area to area, whether you're in the police station or the farmhouse, you can close doors. And so if you hit the X button on your Xbox controller, when you're by a door or, something like that, um, you can shut it or open it. And it's kind of, if you think of, Call of Duty World at War had a Nazi zombies mode where you can kind of like rebuild some of the windows that the zombies climb through. And in that, game, it takes the zombies a minute to break down the window again to come attack you. Well, Land of the Dead is kind of similar, where if you shut the door in front of the zombies will have to come together and break down the door till until they can come in the room and get you. And of course, the door is no longer usable once it's broken. Um, but yeah, you can if you're in a tricky spot, you do have a sprint button in this game. So if you hold the left trigger on the default controls, you'll sprint for a little while, but then Jack gets tired and he has to kind of stumble around and catch his breath. And that's when a lot of the zombies will kill you and eat you. Um, so if you run out of that sprint, what I found myself doing a lot was clicking the A button once I ran out of the sprint, and I would jump because I noticed if you keep jumping, it's actually faster to recover your breath that way. Your character moves faster through the level if you keep jumping, rather than just hobbling around and letting the zombies get close to you. So I did abuse that mechanic as well. Um, and I mean, you've got to think of the quality of this game as someone, if you're someone who hasn't played this, because I'm abusing the piss out of every mechanic I can to kill these zombies and to get to the next level. I mean, like I said, this game, was pretty unrelenting at certain parts. I mean, I had to go hard. I had to play hard. Um, Now there also a lot of you I keep referencing Call of Duty Zombies or Nazi Zombies because that's like a really good comparison to a couple segments of this game. Um, but there is a mechanic you might be familiar with in that game as well, referred to as like training the zombies or like zombie training. And a lot of the zombies in this game will kind of walk in a straight line or like hobble over to you, in a single file, and you can kind of create like a train, like a choo-choo train made out of zombies. And so, if you create that staggered line of zombies, you can just lead them where you need to and kind of walk around the whole single file line until you kill all of them. And I found myself constantly jumping around zombies while I was like reloading or when they get too close. And I would always do that same technique that I do in Call of Duty Zombies, where I make that single file line and I'm just picking them off. I'm just running circles around them, jumping and sprinting and doing whatever I can, and just shooting at them in the head. So there was a lot of zombie training in this game. I mean, many, many hours of training zombies. Um, and then I guess I should tell you because this game is an older game engine, and it's an older game. I mean, I've told you that plenty of times already. There's a lot of random loading screens. So, you're gonna be walking, and just randomly, your game will freeze. You're just walking around, nothing in particular. And you'll get this green little neon green spiral in your screen, and it'll say loading. And you've just got to wait, for however long it takes for your Xbox to load that next section. And there's quite a few loading sections in this game. I mean, maybe like every 5 minutes or so. I mean, it's quite a bit. I mean, you'll see once you play it. But that's something I do remember. Um, I did want to tell you because I know I referenced earlier about some of the graphics and how the game developers reused quite a bit of the assets of this game. So, you'll go into one house and you'll see, a table. And then you'll go into the next room and you'll see that table again. And then you'll go to a police department down the street and you'll see the table again. And you'll be like, whoa, like, did all these people buy the same table? Like, what the hell is going on? And, I walked into this house and this was, the first half of the game. And I look on the wall of this house and I'm like, that's a picture of a cow in someone's house. Like it's just a zoomed in picture of like a random cow, in this guy's living room where I was looking for some ammo and stuff in there. And so I went in this house. And so I go, that's kind of funny. That's weird. So I note it and I move on. I go to the next room and there's the cow again. He has a framed picture above his, living room table of this cow. And I'm like, "Oh, well, maybe they were Russian and they just put like two pictures of a cow in this guy's house." I go to the staircase. There it is again. There's a third picture of this damn cow in this guy's house. And I mean, I was rolling laughing, and I walked up the stairs because I had to go upstairs for, looking for some ammo and stuff. And there were another two pictures of the cow right at the top of the staircase. So they reuse, I mean, a lot of the assets in this game. A lot of the same like lamps and pictures and tables and zombies. I mean, I don't want to say it was a movie cash grab because it's not like, I mean, I've played some shovelware trash in my day. I've played some like movie games that suck. I've played a lot of bad movie games, but this game, I mean, it was either like rushed to, I mean, I don't know, kind of coincide with the movie, because in my opinion, because this did come out in 2005, I think like 4 months after the movie came out here in North America. Or maybe they just didn't, it was a very like greenhorn type of game developer that made this game and developed it. I'm not really sure. I tried to do some research online about the developer who made this, and I couldn't find definitive answers because on the case it says Groove. Yeah, a studio called Groove, like the music, Groove, like Groove, and they published this game. It seems like, and then Brainbox Games, I believe, developed it. I've never heard of either two of those companies, and I actually Googled Brainbox Games, and I couldn't even find them. I couldn't. I did a little digging, I was curious because I like this game. I think it's fun. I seriously, I'm not gonna hide my colors here. I love this game. This game's fun as hell. It's rough. It's rough on the eyes. It's hard as a son of a bitch, but it is fun. It's seriously, if you're an old boomer, you want to play some old OG Xbox, this is the jam right here. Um, but yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. I couldn't really find anything on the developers. Um, Now I've told you about some of the locations, and I'll kind of just circle back to that. Um, so like I said, your main goal in this game is very general. You're basically stuck on a farm in the beginning of the game, and your character is running out of food. So he basically leaves the safety of the farm, which I think is a horrible idea, but a slasher film or a zombie film, I guess it makes sense. Um, but he leaves the safety of the farm to go find help, to go get food, to go find a place where zombies aren't stumbling onto his property. And that's what gets him into this mess, is leaving his property. And in the beginning, after you go through several farm sections of fighting zombies, you're gonna get to the city. The city is very tight. You're gonna be going through a lot of close corridors, a lot of streets where you're gonna see a lot of corpses on the streets, and then they'll stand back up when you get close and they'll attack you because they're zombies. You're gonna go through sewers, and like I said, the sewers were tough. The sewers those are gonna beat on you a little bit. They're a little tough. Um, you're gonna go through the hospital, which at some point through this game you are gonna have almost like a mini baby boss fight. Um, but nothing too horrible. Um, there's a theater segment in the game. You're eventually going to come to a theater, and you're going to need to clear the theater of zombies. And that wasn't too bad. I remember that being pretty relaxing, where I could catch my breath. Um, and police station, and of course the boat docks. You're gonna have plenty of shootouts with zombies. And then there's a couple areas of the game that I'm gonna leave a surprise to you, towards the very end, because I don't want to spoil the ending. But yeah, you're basically seeking safety. That's your whole goal. You're just wandering around all these different places trying to find safety. Now through most of this game, you are going to be completely alone. So you're not going to have no teammates. You're not going to be running and gunning with a group of, gaggle goons. It's not Left for Dead. I know the little, hand zombie hand on the front of the case looks like the Left for Dead case for 360. But yeah, it ain't no Left for Dead game. You're going to be pretty much, I mean, whatever you're able to do with that Xbox controller is gonna determine if them zombies are gonna pound on you, or if you're gonna get through the missions. So it's a rough game in that aspect, because nowadays we're used to all the AI and all the, like, oh, let me, I mean, I'll invite someone into my game. I'll send my friend, a game. I mean, there ain't none of that. There's none of that in this game. It's you. That's it. You. Um, but now I did mention one of the main mechanics in this game is resource management. And so, how kind of how the ammo works. Um, you're of course going to find your weapons for the first time. So, you're going to find your Glock, your single action revolver, your 22 rifle, all that stuff at different points in the game at set pieces. And you're not going to have a lot of ammo for anything. I mean, especially in the beginning of the game, first half, it's going to be pretty tough, pretty tight. Every bullet you miss is going to count. It's going to come back and bite you if you start missing them shots. And like I said, they got to be headshots. You can't get sloppy. You got to be playing your A game. This is this game is more of like a sitting on the edge of the seat, edge of your couch type of game. I mean, this isn't like you come home from work and pop it in and you're just relaxing eating pizza. That's not this type of game. Um, but yeah, you're gonna have to search for all these, different types of ammo. So like your 22 ammo for your 22 rifle. I think there's 9mm, I want to say, for the Glock. I'm pretty sure that was it. Or it might just say pistol ammo. I can't really remember. There's different types of ammunition. It's gonna tell you what ammo is for what gun generally. Or you'll be able to figure it out. But uh, but yeah, you're gonna have to search. Just like you use the X button to open and close doors, you can use the X button to open, desk drawers that you'll find kind of through the world, through the levels. You can search through like filing cabinets. Like for some reason in every damn house and every building, there's like 20 filing cabinets. And they're all usually I believe it's three layered filing cabinets, and you have to hit the X button on all of them to open and close the filing cabinet doors. Now, I initially thought that the door that you are looking at is the one that he will open. So if you're looking at like the middle drawer, I was under the impression that you look at the middle drawer and you line your crosshair up with it and you hit X, and then the middle drawer will pop open and you can see what's inside. Um, I believe, if I remember right, I mean, I played it a little today, but I still it's a little hazy. I believe if you just stand lined up with the filing cabinet or whatever you're trying to open, he has to go in order from top to bottom. I believe that's the case. So, you have to open like the top one first, then the middle one, then the bottom, and etc. But it can be tricky if you have no ammo and you're running around and zombies are chasing you, and you have to, find something like 22 ammo or a health kit, something, and you're fumbling around with these damn filing cabinets and stuff. It can be a nightmare. I mean, it could be a damn nightmare, and make it very difficult because the game is so clunky and stiff, and it's not easy to manipulate things in the environment. It's not easy to like open doors in a hurry, close them on zombies, open the filing cabinet and grab what's inside quickly. I mean, it's really like it's something I want to go slow on, but the game doesn't let you because there's so many zombies coming for you. Um, but yeah, that is a dynamic in the game, and sometimes you will transfer your ammo level to level. I believe. I believe that's the case most of the time. So if you're a good noodle and you save some of your ammo, you might get to carry it into the next segment of the game, or you might not, depending on where you're at. I believe. Um, and then for healing, you do have it's like a silhouette on your screen, and as you take damage, the silhouette of the Farmer Jack will fill with red coloring. And so, you can't carry healing items on you. So as far as I remember, there's two healing items. There's a full-size med kit, which looks like your standard white, medical kit with like a red cross on it. And if you pick that up, that will restore a significant amount of your life. Those aren't always easy to find, but they are through the game. They are out there if you look hard. There's some. I mean, they're out there. They're not always there when you need them, but they at least they gave you something, you know. Um, but because this game, if you couldn't heal in this game, this game would be almost useless. I mean, seriously, I wouldn't play this damn game if they didn't have med kits. Um, but now there are also pill bottles, and the pill bottles you're going to find a lot more frequent than the med kits, in my opinion. And those only fill a small amount of your health at once. But sometimes you'll find more than one pill bottle at one location. And in those situations when you need something, you're not going to be picky. I mean, you're going to take what the hell the game gives you, because everything, whether it's grenades or healing items or ammo, everything is extremely scarce. So you're going to have to manage all of that. I mean, you're going to be running backwards, grabbing med kits later. You're going to be, cycling through your ammo, trying to burn up your crappy guns first before you use your good guns and stuff like that. So ammo management and healing management, that's a very, very large part of this game. Um, now, as far as some of the AI, I told you about the freezing in place. I mean, I told you about a lot of the glitches already. Um, but I did want to tell you about one part in this game that I had significant amounts of trouble with, because there were two parts in this game that pissed me off almost to the point of not playing it ever again. And I want to give you a fair warning before you get into this game. Um, it was funny because I beat this game, or I came very, very close to beating this game around this time. And I listened to a podcast on Spotify, and I think it was called Thinking Inside the Box. It was an original Xbox podcast that I really enjoyed. That unfortunately I don't think they make it anymore. But but it was a guy talking about this game a little bit with his friend, and he mentioned, he was like, that damn sniping section. That damn sniping section sucked ass. And I tuned in like to the podcast like randomly, just jumping in. I had like the volume down on my device. I just clicked it on real quick, and he was talking about the sniping section. And that's exactly what I wanted to convey to you guys, because you're going to have, pretty much for the most part, you're going to have one true like companion or friend in this game that you're going to meet partway through. And his name, I'm not going to tell you how you meet him, or what his very, very small backstory is. That's not really relevant. But you're going to meet a friend named Otis. And Otis is a trucker. Okay. So once you've been hanging out with Otis for a little while, because you're looking for any help you get, right? So eventually, through one of these levels, you're going to meet Old Man Otis. And this guy Otis, he's going to say, "Hey, brother, I got a truck, like a semi truck, and I'm going to go get this damn thing. I need you to grab a sniper rifle and I need you to cover me while I go get my semi truck. So I'm thinking like, okay, easy enough, right? And you'll know when you get here because the mission name is Headshot with an exclamation mark, like Headshot. It's you'll know it. You'll see the loading screen, and so you basically you're gonna have to start this mission with your sniper rifle, your bolt action scoped rifle, and you're on a rooftop with no way down, and way at the bottom of this, it's like an apartment building almost, because you're at the very top. You're gonna see Otis waving at you, and he's kind of like a very harsh, like kind of rough looking version of Santa Claus. And what you have to do, because right when you start, you're gonna have to shoot the lock off for Otis, and he's gonna run through the most zigzaggy parking lot you're ever gonna see in your life. I mean, this, the little phone game Snake that comes in all the like 2000s little flip phones, where you just try not to touch the snake's tail. That's how they designed this damn parking lot, was through the damn snake's tail slithering through the parking lot. And you know, it was so unfair because this guy, I mean, he does have, I believe it's a handgun, and he's just very buggy. He's as buggy as the damn zombies are running through the parking lot. And as he's slowly hobbling through this damn zigzaggy parking lot, zombies are going to be coming from the streets behind him, to kill him. They're going to be coming over the walls to kill him. They're going to come from around, little hidden corners around little buildings and kill him. I mean, this guy's getting his ass whooped, and he dies pretty quick. He dies in a couple hits. And there's so many zombies, that you don't even know who to shoot first. Okay, and you got this scoped rifle, right? And to be fair, they give you quite a bit of ammo. Okay, I think you start with almost 100 rounds in this rifle, so that's at least something, right? But you know, you're going to be aiming through the scope, and you don't have enough time to kill them if the zombies are already on Otis. So if you see Otis and the zombies like right next to each other, Otis is already dead. Your ass is already restarting that checkpoint over again. They're gonna make you do the whole section of that sniping bullshit over from the very beginning. Without no ifs, ands, buts about it, no checkpoints, no nothing. You're going back, buddy. And you know, that, like I said, it's just such a narrow field of vision with that scope. And if you guys have played original Xbox before with the, original controllers, because like I said, that's what I used to play this game, using the sticks on that original Xbox controller to move around this sniper rifle scope was, I mean, it was almost unbearable. It was so hard trying to find the zombies, let alone trying to shoot at them, let alone trying to hit them in the head. Because remember, you can't do body shots, buddy. You gotta hit them damn zombies in the noggin. You have to. You gotta pop those heads, or the zombies aren't gonna die. And the zombies are moving the whole time. It's a very very cruel part. And I had to. I it took me seriously of playing this game off and on, because I played this game. I took this my original Xbox to work at one point in time and tried to beat this at work. At an old job I had. I played this in several different homes. I mean, I it seriously took me like a whole year of playing that damn sniping section off and on for like 10 tries, and then shut it off for a couple months, 10 tries, and then shut it off for a couple months. And it was whooping my ass. I mean, look this sniping section up. It's called Headshot. I'm sure there's some guy on there, because I seen there were some gurus on here who like ran through the Land of the Dead game, because that's like they're like just super good, like superhumans at this game. But that game was like, at that part, I mean, I was ready to quit. I was seriously, it pissed me off as much as that hoverboard section and Conquer Live and Reloaded. It was extremely unfair. Um, but yeah. Eventually, if you do protect Otis against the several waves of zombies, he will get to his truck. But one other factor that is working against you is that zombies, after there's so many zombies you've, killed or defended Otis against, or, he's gotten so far in the parking lot, while you're zoomed into the sniper scope, zombies actually spawn on the roof behind you and they will start attacking you while you are trying to shoot zombies off of Otis. So it like I said, that I could have done without that mission. Um because that was ridiculous. Um but yeah, so that's the Otis sniping section I've got to warn you about. Um Now there is one other section I'm gonna tell you, and I don't think it's much of a spoiler, so hang in there. Um, you're eventually gonna try to link up with some people because, like I said, the whole game is about trying to find safety, and you eventually find a group of people, and they believe they know where safety is, so you're gonna go with them. Right? Jack the farmer, after searching and searching, you finally found a potential opportunity to be safe from the zombie apocalypse. So they say, "Hey, man, we gotta lower this bridge, and we're gonna cross it, and then you can come with us. So just help us lower the bridge." So you're gonna go out by yourself because for whatever reason they don't want to help you do this bridge. So, you're going to go it's similar, fighting to what you've been used to through the rest of the game. And you're going to lower this bridge or activate the bridge or whatever mechanic it is they want you to do. And they say, "Great. Now get in the truck." And Jack's going to get in this damn truck, right? He's going to get on the back of like this pickup truck, and the pickup truck has a minigun on it. And so, instantly when you hop in, you're going to have access full range to this minigun. And the minigun has, infinite ammo, so you can shoot it and spin it up and whatever as much as you want. Um, and you cross this bridge. Well, now, that link up point where you're trying to get to is right across the bridge. But the other survivors do not want to let you in to this safe area because as soon as you start driving across that damn bridge, zombies come because the bridge is over water. Zombies, all at once, a giant horde comes out of the water and starts walking basically towards the end of the bridge that you're driving to. And so, these survivors obviously want you to kill these zombies. And it's basically wave after wave after wave for about, I would guesstimate, no more than 5 minutes of gameplay time. And this seriously was harder than the damn sniping section. It was just as hard, if not harder. I mean, I'm being dead serious. Um, these damn zombies, uh, the truck is gonna park, right? So you're the only one shooting these zombies. So you're parked in the middle of like this road, and you can't see the full shore by the bridge where the zombies are coming out of the water. So some of them are running, some of them are crawling, some of them are just standing there glitched like, stupid. And there's a lot of obstacles. There's like cars in the way, there's like little barrels. So you don't have a great line of sight. And you don't have to worry about the zombies getting you or attacking you, eating you, anything like that. You don't have to protect, any of your truck mates. But if I'm not even bullshitting you, if one zombie, one, gets past your Jeep or your truck, you have to start that section all over again from the very beginning, from driving across the damn bridge. I'm not even kidding. And I played this. This is another part that it took me literally like 6 months of playing the game for 10 tries, putting it on the shelf, pissed off, pulling it out a month later, trying it 10 times. I mean, I was able to beat it barely by the freaking skin of my teeth. Um, but it was embarrassingly hard. Um, I mean, It's just difficult because, like I said, while you're shooting, let's say 5 zombies are coming from your right side, while you're trying to blast all 5 zombies, in your right side of your vision, there'll be one zombie that just flips over the fence real quick, runs over past the car hidden behind the little barrier or whatever, and just zips behind you, and then boom, the game ends. And you're like, "What? I didn't even see anybody." And I mean, they had to have known what they were doing to you when they made this damn part of the game. And I think they wanted, because it is towards the end of the game, I think they wanted it to be tough. I think they wanted it to be like a important moment in the game, but it was just cheap. I mean, it was cheap as hell. I mean, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Um, but yeah, that when you get to that section, you're gonna know it because they talk about a bridge, and they're gonna tell you get in the damn truck, and you better start squeezing that your butt cheeks together, getting ready, um, because you're gonna see it's gonna load. It says I think it's called Heavy Gunner. I believe that's the segment of the game. Um, but yeah, that was incredibly cheap. And I guess why allegedly if one zombie gets past your truck, I guess it's because there's a entire population of like survivors that they're saying like, oh, the zombie killed a survivor or killed. I mean it's an excuse just to fail your mission, basically. Um but yeah, that part pissed me off. um Aside from that, yeah, there was some incredibly cheap stuff with the zombies glitching through the doors and stuff. I had to abuse some mechanics to beat this game. I had to, just run past zombies or train them in a line or just do cheap stuff. Use the shovel to poke them down the stairs and just kind of trap them, so I could shoot them. Um, but I mean it was a nice game to play, and it was really rewarding for me because when I finally beat it, it was something I put a ton of time into, and it pissed me off. And it was cheap and tough and hard, and I did it. I'm done with it, so I'm very glad I did. I seen it through to the end. Um, and it's something I always wanted to play. I know for my situation, this is a game I would have never beaten. I would have never even stuck this in my Xbox when I was a kid because it was so scary, and it would have been, especially knowing the difficulty of this now, it would have been way too hard for me to play. Um so yeah, I'm glad I did it. And if a lot of you guys out there, if you want those, you know, kind of like 3D 1990s style of game on your original Xbox, if you've played like some of the lesser quality, hoop shooters of the original Xbox, like Dead Man's Hand or oh geez, what's the other one? Chicago Enforcer that are like cheap as hell and they beat the piss out of you. Um, this would be another game like that you could play, and even though it's very rudimentary, you could stick this on with your buddies and play it in the same room, or you could just, I mean, I played it through by myself, and my wife watched, and she'd watch me smack the zombies and abuse the mechanics with the shovel, you know, and I mean, it was fun. It was fun, and yes, it did piss me off and take me almost a year to play through this thing. And it's really not a terribly long game, so it shouldn't take a year. Um, but yeah, I would only recommend this to a specific person. If you are a, little Zoomer boomer and you're running around, listen to whatever Fortnite rap or whatever you're doing, you might not like this. This might not be for you. Um, but if you're interested in original Xbox and for collectors especially, this thing is freaking hot. This thing is sought after. So, that's it's a nice collector's piece. I mean, I look at this damn game on the shelf and I feel proud to own it, you know. Um, but yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. Thank you for watching. And thank you to all the nice comments. I've actually got quite a bit of comments starting to kind of slowly trickle in, and a lot of them are very nice, very cool to hear from you guys. And yeah, I like to play games like everybody else, and yeah, just God bless you and your family. Thank you for watching. And last mention, let me know if this microphone is garbage or not. I recently got a very nice studio microphone, and this is the first audio show we're using for it for. Blah blah blah. All right, have a great day.